What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a Vintage Kenner market update. We've got a pretty nice assortment of stuff here, and I tried to cover everything from graded items to ungraded, mint on card to loose graded, and kind of everything in between, all eras, everything from 12 backs all the way to the vintage Droids line that came out kind of in 1985-ish. So without further ado, let's dig right in. One quick note, if you like this kind of content, please be sure to consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. The first item on the list was a 12-back Stormtrooper, and it looked like in pretty good shape overall. I mean, just really nice condition, clear blister. The figure hadn't kind of yellowed at all or anything like that. I didn't really look closely as to what 12-back ABC, and the seller didn't even notice. Let's see. The seller didn't even include anything on that, so I hadn't looked really closely. It looks like a 12-back. No idea. I can't tell. I'd have to look at pictures next to it because I can't just tell at eyesight because I don't know 12 backs that well because I don't plan on buying any. They're just too expensive for me. So, but anyway, this was a 12 back. I don't know which back it was, but it's a 12 back Stormtrooper, and it sold at $1,400. With $18 shipping on 23 bids. That just closed 2 days ago. But that Stormtrooper looked to be in pretty amazing condition. I mean, just, at first blush, it was about an 80 grade at worst. And yeah, I'd say about 80. He's got some scuffing on the back of the card back. But that front and that blister and the figure itself are just pretty much perfect. So I think that was a pretty fair buy. I mean, I don't know if that's a 12-bag A, B, or C, but I almost don't care. It's a pretty beautiful item. There were a couple of loose graded items kind of interspersed in here, and one of them that I wanted to show was a first 12 Death Squad Commander. This number came in a little bit higher than expected. This is the dark blue emblem version, so there's like a dark blue and a light blue for the chest emblem for his rank insignia. This was the dark blue version. It was graded 85. Really nice looking figure overall. It seems like this seller on eBay, all of his stuff sells for really high prices, but he had one in this batch that was actually pretty reasonable. But anyway, this one sold at $217.50. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's fair in the current environment for our first 12 figure. I would have said closer to maybe 175 or 200, but maybe I'm living in 2019. This is the one I wanted to point out, that this was an AFA 85 plus Hammerhead, and this was the PBP version. So this was the PBP scarred COO of Hammerhead with the eyes looking forward. I think there's also an eyes looking left or right, I can't remember, for the PBP variation. I've got the no COO version, but it's not the same as this one. This is a no COO but scarred, like the actual scarred out, indicating that's a Spanish-made PBP figure. Anyway, that was an 85 plus grade, so very high grade, and it only sold for $114, which I thought that was a great deal for an AFA 85 plus foreign figure. With the new style case. I mean, that was a great deal, I thought, whoever got that one. Now here's the other one I wanted to point out. So this is an item that you don't see come up at auction very often, and the last one I saw sold, it was like I think it was an AFA 80, and it sold for like 500 or 550 if memory serves. This one was an AFA 85 Droids, the Droid Factory version of R2-D2. So he was packed in with that Droid Factory set, play set, and he comes with like a third leg, and just an absolutely perfect. I mean, it looks factory fresh. I've never seen one so clean before with that sticker, and it was gorgeous. I mean, look how gorgeous that Droid Factory R2-D2 is. It's got that third leg that plugs in, but I mean, I've never seen one so mint before in my life, and the price reflected that. It sold on 55 bids for $885 plus $10 shipping. That just closed 2 days ago. But man, that was as perfect of a Droids R2-D2 as I have ever seen. And wow, what a big number. Here was another Spanish figure that sold on the upper end of the scale. This was sold by my buddy Jeremy, and I bought from him before. I bought a double telescoping Luke Skywalker from him. But this was a Spanish PBP TIE Fighter pilot. It's got the Scar COO. And you can see here it's got an emblem error. And, as we talked about in past videos, the Spanish figures are known for having really poor paint applications. And this is a perfect example of that. So you can see where the emblem was almost double stamped. You had the single normal stamp that you can see right there. This is the normal stamp. but it had like a second stamp right here. So that's, again, the Spanish figures are just known for that kind of weird, wacky paint stuff, and it just happened with that one. But I thought that was a really cool item, and it only was only on one side. You can see right here that the emblem error was only on that one side. But I just thought that was a really cool item. But anyway, that one sold for $400. Best offer accepted. I don't know what the exact sales price was. I would guess $350 or so. But a really nice Spanish TIE Fighter pilot. The other big one, this is probably the biggest sticker shock that I had out of all these items on here, although there are a couple of others, like that Droid Factory R2 and one other one I'm going to show you. But this one was the 12-inch version, or I guess 15-inch really, for the IG-88, the vintage large size IG-88. It's an awesome item. I mean, even loose, these can go for $500 or $600 ungraded. This one was a mint and sealed box. And here is the label on it. So the box was $75, the window was $85, and the figure was $85. And just absolutely amazing. But that price really blew me away. That one sold for $5,276 plus $20 shipping 2 days ago. And it said there's only 27 sealed copies graded by AFA, and only 7 are higher graded than this one. So pretty low population. I guess in general, these were not manufactured in large numbers relative to maybe some of the other 12-inch figures. I don't know. Or maybe there's just not many survivors. It's just such a cool toy. I would imagine that most of those were opened by kids because they wanted to play with this really cool action figure. So $5,276 was a big number. A few mint on cards kind of from here. This was a 31 back B Leia AFA 80 plus, and that one sold for $1,555 on 25 bids. It looked pretty much perfect, and nice clear blister you can see right there. Really beautiful example, unpunched, 80 plus. So, and that one had the defect that you can see. Let me see if we can get a good zoom of this. This one has the kind of the defect you can see on the neck where it's starting to discolor. That's something I talked about in a Leia Bespin video a while back, that for some reason that neck on some of those figures, because of the paint, it kind of degrades to a green neck. And so that's the case that happened with that one. And I don't know if that figure score of 80 really applies anymore, just given the kind of degradation of that neck. But that's called the green neck Leia. It's actually pretty desirable among collectors. They just like it as kind of a wacky variation. But anyway, I just thought I'd point that one out. Next, this is one I was thinking about bidding on. I don't know what kind of grade it would get, but this is a 32 back B Bosk. It was really nice crystal clear blister. It had some curling on the card, and I don't know what it would score. I don't know what it would score. It would probably, if I had to guess, it'd probably be somewhere between a 75 plus and an 80. It might have hit an 80. I don't know, but it was gorgeous. It was clear blister. It looked like it had the orange head also, which that's pretty common for the very early Bosks. He came on with an orange head or an olive green head, but that one looks like the orange head, and I don't have any examples like that, I don't think, except for maybe some in my mint on cards. But anyway, I thought about bidding on that one. I just, it's hard to say what that one would score with the graders, and quite honestly, I don't need to be spending any money. I don't need to be spending any money right now. So anyway, it sold for $393 and change plus shipping. So let's call it a little over $400. I thought that was a pretty good deal. In high grade, that 32B can start to creep up to $800 or $900. So $400 for an ungraded that is on the borderline between an 80 and a 75 plus. That's a pretty good number in my opinion. Whoever picked that up. This was down in Australia. This was, let's see which back it was. This was the 41 back E Ugnaught, graded 80, straight 80s were the subgrades. Nice crystal clear blister. And it was listed for 750 Australian dollars, which equates to about 550 US dollars. It was best offer accepted. I'm guessing around $500 took it home, plus shipping. So a really nice example of the ESP Ugnaught. And this is the other one that the Chris W, who I just talked about in my video yesterday when I unboxed the Lobot. We were debating what this one would sell for, and I think Chris actually lobbed a bid in last second, but it blew right past it. But I had guessed that this is the Kenner Canada Luke Jedi clear blister. And so that is a very, very difficult item to find with a clear blister. But you can see it's got the French language there. The 65 back A, archival case, Kenner Canada, AFA 85. I can't tell you that I've ever seen an AFA 85 clear blister Kenner Canada Luke Jedi. So this is a truly a unicorn. I bet there's less than 5 of these still out there on the population report, or less for an AFA 85. So you can see the back there with the French language in the upper left. So what an incredible item. I had told Chris that I thought it would hit $2,000. And he concurred. He thought that it would easily blow past 2,000, but it did sell for 1,702 on 43 bids. So that number actually was a lot lower than I expected. I thought it would come in quite a bit higher than that. So that is just a absolutely awesome item, though. I would love to have had that one, but it was not meant to be, Shali, as Belloc once said in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So, but what a killer Luke Jedi, though. That is just as gorgeous as it gets. 1,702 took that one home. Another big high price one that we often talk about. This is Princess Leia on a Return of the Jedi card back, and this was AFA 85 yellow blister, which 99% of them are. But these Princess Leias on the Return of the Jedi card backs just never show up, and especially this high grade. This was an 85 AFA 85 straight 85s. I mean, pretty much the most difficult character to find on a Return of the Jedi card back, bar none. It's just a very, very difficult one. They just didn't produce many of them. But this is the 77 back A, and it sold for almost $3,600 US, or 30.99 euros. So about $3,600 took that home, and it was not an auction. That was just a straight sale, and if I was independently wealthy, I would have paid that all day long. It's just a really, really beautiful item. So, if you're doing a Return of the Jedi run, the most money you're going to spend is on the Leia. I mean, that's without question the most difficult figure to find for the U.S. Return of the Jedi card backs. This one I thought was a great deal. I actually considered bidding on this one, but was just held myself back, just not spend money. But this was a Palatoy Tri-Logo R2-D2 with a sensor scope, and it was AFA 80 with the archival case, straight 80s. Really nice example. It was punched, but I've seen them go for quite a bit higher than that in Facebook, and this one sold for $482 plus $18 shipping. That to me was a steal. I would have paid that all day long. I would have paid probably closer to $600 personally for that. So that was a really good deal, whoever got that one, in my opinion. This one is an interesting one. I just thought I'd point out very quickly. This was a set of 4 Power of the Force mint on cards. It had Chewbacca, General Lando, C-3PO with the removable limbs, and then Obi-Wan. And so a really nice setup. It was listed for $2,500 Canadian, or about a little over $2,000 US. And it did receive one bid. It sold for one bid earlier this morning. So, and they all look to be in really excellent shape. I mean, just really, really nice. Probably 80 to 80 plus grade condition for all 4 of them. So, I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I haven't really looked closely at the prices for each of these individually to add up. But that Lando alone looked really nice. I mean, it looked clear blister almost. I doubt it's clear blister, but it's pretty close. And the rest of these looked to be in great shape. So my gut says that was a pretty good price to get for all 4 of those. Finally, I want to finish off with a couple of Droids figures that you don't see come up often at auction. I think we've looked at a Tig From here recently that was graded, and that one sold for around $900 if memory serves. This one was ungraded and probably in worse condition. I think that one that sold that was AFA graded was 80 grade. But this one had some creasing to the card back. But again, it's still a very desirable figure, and it was unpunched. It's probably like a 70 or 75 grade. That one sold for $611. No cracks to the blister. So to me, that might be relative to the AFA 80 that just sold. I have to go back and look at the sales price on that, but I want to say it was around $900. But $600 seems maybe a little high, but it's probably not too far off. But the big boy was this one. This one was the Sice From, and this is one that was at pretty low production numbers. It had that crease in the upper left-hand corner, but it was unpunched. And these Sice Froms are very, very expensive. Just do not come up hardly at all at auction, and very, very expensive. So that one sold for $1,320 on 6 bids, but nice clear blister and a pretty tough one to find on the Droids card back. So anyway, again, if you are new to the channel and you like this kind of sales price information, I encourage you to subscribe to help out the channel. And to my existing subscribers and my Patreon supporters, I just want to say thanks again for watching. I hope that you found this market data useful. Just kind of some interesting prices all over the map, and we saw some good deals, and we saw some that sold well above what my expectations were. So just keep an eye out for any good deals out there, and happy hunting. Talk to you soon.